Hello everyone, welcome to Biology with MEDMELO. This is the second part of question number 4 of genetics, that is the properties and functions of cell membrane and the types of transport across the cell membrane. Now we are going to cover the methods of transport in the cell. Before covering that topic, the transport in the cells, we have to consider a short reminder about the concentration solutions. There are three types of concentration solutions: hypotonic, hypertonic, and isotonic solution. Basically, dependent upon what is the inside culture of the cell and outside culture, or how the concentration is inside the cell and outside the cell. Hypotonic solution is said to be when the concentration inside the cell is less than the concentration outside the cell. Hypertonic is basically the reverse of hypotonic, that is, the concentration inside the cell is more than the concentration outside the cell. And isotonic is equal concentration on both the sides, that is, inside and outside both are similar. Now let's talk about the methods of transport in the cell. There are two methods of transport in the cell: passive transport and active transport. Passive transport basically follows the concentration gradient where materials passes from higher concentration, remember, higher concentration to lower concentration. And in this kind of flow, there is no energy expenditure. That is, energy is not required in this case. Passive transport is further divided to three categories: simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and osmosis. Since this kind of transport without any energy expenditure can transport water and other small molecules from cell to cell or by cell membrane. Okay, so simple diffusion is basically considered as an unordered movement because it transports the dissolved substances only. That is, those material which are actually dissolved in the cell. Dissolved substances are transported from higher concentration to lower concentration. And when both the concentrations are equal, that is, higher lower become to the isotonic solution type of solution, that is, isotonic concentration is observed, then the diffusion stops. Similarly, is facilitated diffusion, but in a different case. Diffusion means dissolving of substances, but facilitated diffusion is basically meant for some other substances or some specific substances. These specific substances are protein transmitters, which mean it will only transport amino acids, sugars, fatty acids from higher concentration to lower concentration. That is, those associated with the protein transmission or related to protein. And when the isotonic solution or isotonic concentration is observed, the diffusion stops. Then we have osmosis. Osmosis is basically meant for water transportation through cell membrane, which will be also from what? Higher concentration to lower concentration. And similarly, when isotonic concentration is observed, then the diffusion or osmosis will stop. So let me rememorize you or revise you the main differences or definitions of these transports. Passive transport is that transport where the materials, especially water and some of the small molecules that can be dissolved in the solution, are transported from higher concentration to the lower concentration without any energy expenditure. It is divided to three categories: simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and osmosis. Simple diffusion is known as the unordered movement because it only transports the dissolved substances or those substances which are preformally dissolved in the solution from higher concentration to lower concentration. And when isotonic concentration is observed, the diffusion stops. Secondly, in facilitated diffusion, it also transports the dissolved material, but only those dissolved material which are specifically made or related to protein transmitters, which are amino acids, sugar, and fatty acids, moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. And similarly, when isotonic concentration is observed, the DNA stops, or sorry, the diffusion stops. Then we have osmosis. In osmosis, the water transports through cell membrane, moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. And whenever the isotonic concentration is obtained or observed, the osmosis stops. Okay. Now we have the active transport. Active transport is just the reverse, or you can say it is the reverse kind of situation or the opposite of passive transport. We needed no energy expenditure in passive transport, but here we have energy expenditure. In passive transport, we were moving from higher concentration to lower concentration, and here we are moving from lower concentration to higher concentration. And then it demands enzymes, ATP molecules, because energy is required, and some special ion canals for the transport, like sodium potassium pump. So this was about the transportation of materials throughout the cell or from cell to other substances. I hope you understand the question well. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section.